Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do I have a motion to go into open?
Second.
Mr. Dan, second. Mr. Harms. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are in open. Good evening, everyone. We opened the meeting around 6:30, and then we immediately went into closed, where we talked about matters of personnel, and no action was taken. And now we're in open, and happy to see everybody here, and a lot of bright, intelligent faces I see all out here. That's wonderful. But first, we're going to start off with our first public participation portion of the evening tonight. That's for agenda items only. So if you'd like to speak on any agenda item, please come forward and state your name, address, and what agenda item you'd like to speak on.
Jacob McGarrett, 612 Chevrolet Avenue, Roselle Park. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience and students, viewing audience, members of the board, Mr. Miller, Mr. Reno, good evening.
Good evening.
The first question you answered. Item number 1, district substitutes. The woman has a last name as you, Mr. Guerrero. Any relation?
It is a common name in Spain.
Oh, we're not in Spain.
No, we're not. Jake, Alina Garrido happens to be my daughter. She is a senior in college, and she wanted to know if she can substitute. And although there is a nepotism policy, it does exclude per diem substitute, and the district is in great need of substitutes. So I told her, you will be helping the district whenever there's a need that teachers are absent throughout the district. So she will be available, and she will be part of the pool. And obviously, since she's coming in now, she'll be at the bottom of the pool. Whenever she's home, which probably will be a total of maybe 3-4 weeks in the year, the district can use her as a substitute. That's basically it.
Next scheduled board meeting, June 23rd. Is that a Tuesday or a Wednesday?
That is a Tuesday.
That is a Tuesday.
Correct.
Today is Wednesday, yesterday was Tuesday.
Wait a minute, today's Wednesday. You know that. Yes, thank you. And the reason, and thank you for your flexibility, Mr. Majera, for coming out, and everyone for being flexible. The reason we changed, we made that change a week or so ago, was because we have a New Jersey School Board Association representative here tonight to go over our school board self-evaluation that she's going to be conducting. And she's actually going to explain it, the nuts and bolts of it to you guys in open. But when we go into closed session, that's going to be one of the things that we're going to be doing. And unfortunately, she's a very, very busy woman, and she was not available on that date, on yesterday's date. So
We know her.
yes, good person.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Majera.
Saul Curzon, 150 Verone Street. Regarding agenda item number 17. Food Nutrition Program Contract. Is this the lunch contractor? And it's an annual contract, right? And is it the same company as last year?
Yes. So this is their first renewal.
And is it at the same rate?
The management rate has slightly increased by about 1/1000%. However, the guaranteed profit has not decreased.
Thank you.
Seeing there's no one else, we'll close the first public participation portion of the evening tonight. And now we're on to committee reports. Does anyone have a committee report that they can speak on? Seeing there's none, we'll go on to the superintendent's report. Mr. Rito, good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, students and parents, and congratulations on being here and being recognized, as well as Mr. Banks, who's in front here. Welcome. I wanted to report and comment on just a couple of developments over the past couple of weeks that we've had. First of all, I wanted to report on, in the past meetings, I have reported that we are being monitored by the State Department of Education for our programs and operations and things such as that. We had two visits. One was on May 21st, which was a desk audit. They came to the central office, and we spent probably the whole entire day just talking about our instruction programs and things such as that. That was a very productive, very positive meeting that we had. They were very impressed with many of our initiatives here in district. June 8th, which was this past week, they came back to do what they call the building visits. Obviously, they wanted to see everything that we told them during the May 21st visit, that things were happening in the classroom. They did visit 3 of our buildings. One happened to be the high school here, where Mrs. Casa walked around with one of the county personnel staff. They also visited the middle school and one of our elementary school. I did, as is your common practice, have an exit conference with the 2 members of the county office that came in, and once again, everything that was reported was very positive, and they were very impressed with our programs. Student engagement, which is something that we want to see in the classrooms, was happening in every building. Small group instruction, technology use, many of the best practices that we have initiated over the past 2 years or so are being implemented in the classrooms, and they were very, very impressed with that. The next step, or the next phase of the monitoring process is the county office will write a report. They will send it to the state in Trenton, and they will review it, they will certify it, and we will get a report on the outcome of everything that they saw here. So I will report back to you, to the public, to the board, once we receive that report. But once again, I want to thank the administration for everyone was very prepared, professional, and cooperative, and it takes a good team to really be successful, and beginning with the administration, the teachers, and everyone involved. As I always say, everyone has a responsibility to educate our children, and everyone takes that very seriously here, all the way across all the buildings. So thank you for all your assistance while the monitoring was going on. The second item that I have, I just want to give an update on any type of grants. We just received a May activity report. As many of you are aware, we did receive a first award grant for the Kinder Morgan Foundation, which is going to be used for our summer literacy program to pay for some of the things or materials that are being used in the summer program. The latest applications that have been submitted are 2. One is the Lowe's Foundation, the Community Partners Grant, and that is to fund the creation of a 3D printing makerspace in the Roselle Park High School. It's for $22,000, and it was just submitted on May 29th. So hopefully we'll be awarded, because I know Mrs. Costa and the students and the teachers are really looking forward to something like that in the district. And those 3D printers, any type of new technology is very exciting to our district. Also, the other latest grant that was submitted was the New Jersey Office of Clean Energy Direct Install Grant Program. It's for $38,032, and it was just submitted May 27. And the purpose of that is to fund for the completion of the HVAC improvements at Roselle Park High School. So we're trying to improve this building here with some of these grants. And those are two of the latest grants that have been submitted. So hopefully we'll start seeing some of the awards coming in very soon. Because we do have other grants that have been submitted as well. The next item in my agenda is, I just wanted to report, we have been discussing, and again, I thank the board for supporting the bank cap during the budget, because it's going to go directly to our students. And what better way to spend that money, okay, the funding, than to have a technology initiative. We understand that in this ever-changing world of technology, which continues to move forward and is not going to take a back seat, is going to continue to do that. And the students that are here probably know this better than we do as adults, because they are in technology all day long. Their world is in the palm of their hands. We are going to begin a technology initiative for the next year or so. We have hired an educational technology consultant to work with us. This person is well known for his technology around the state and consulting with other districts. And there are two main goals for this initiative. One is to increase the student computer or device ratio, which is now probably 13 to 1. We want to make it closer to 3 to 1. Possibly in some grade levels, we may have a one-to-one initiative where personalized learning does come in place. We're going to add more technology in most of our labs, in our libraries or media centers. So we want to increase the ratio of computers for students, as well as increase the integration of technologies in the curriculum. And that is something that we want to improve, we want to move forward, because if we do not do it now and we do not continue to be progressive, we're going to fall behind. As we know, technology every year becomes more and more school districts are adopting one-to-one initiatives and more technologies in their classrooms. So I want to thank the board again. I want to thank the public also for supporting our budget, because again, you're going to see this in the next year or so when we see more technology in all of our buildings. So I'm very happy to report that. And that's basically what I have to report for you. So thank you, and again, I want to thank you for all your support, for the parents, for the students, and let's continue making Roselle Park the best district that we possibly can, because it is a great district. Thank you.
Superintendent Guido, I just have one question,
Yes.
if I may.
Sure.
Mr. President. Sure. There's one funding program, U.S. Soccer Foundation Safe Places to Play grant, and that's for $200,000 that's available. Is that available per district, or is that the total amount available? And also the due date says it's rolling. It's funding for rehabilitation of fields at Alvin School.
I believe it's just being explored, and I believe, I'm just speaking, that this is in collaboration with the town, because it has to do with Green Acres funds. So it's in the very starting stages, beginning stages, as it continues to move forward on the report.
That sounds good.
Right, it sounds great. Students, as you know, the fields around town need improvement, and obviously we need in the fields.
We'll have a little bit more discussion on this particular outing.
Yes.
If it is funding for the field.
Yes.
Okay, not only because I have some concerns if it's actually not being used for what it's supposed to be used for.
Right.
Certainly we'll have more discussions on that. And again, this is just an exploration period, so Mr. Blanos, who is our grant writer, will definitely come in before. He does not make any decisions on his own without first meeting with the main stakeholders. Thank you, Mr. Lowe.
Thank you, Mr. Garrido. And now we're on to the principal's report. Mrs. Costa, good evening.
love seeing high school families and high school students here. I don't want to stand with my back to anybody, so can I just stand over here? Okay. Feels like you haven't had a board meeting at the high school in a long time, so I'm going to take a little bit of time to talk a little bit about some of the exciting things going on at the high school. The great thing about Roselle Park High School, which I remind myself of every time I go to a small event, I go to the prom, I go to a concert, I go to the musical, is that we are a really small high school, but we offer a lot of opportunities to our students. We still have a wonderful fine arts program, we have a wonderful STEM program, we have a robotics club, we have a golf team. So I just want to highlight some of the special things that happened just in the last quarter here at Roselle Park High School. The robotics club is going to nationals at the end of the school year. We met all of our academic achievement progress indicators. Our academics continue to stay very strong and here at the high school. We had a successful park testing cycle. I don't think a lot of people realize how many high schools didn't have a successful park testing cycle. We had a great one. The students were engaged, they worked hard on the test, very few opted out, and I think that they were able to understand a little bit more of the new testing format. We had a wonderful program before prom with the police department. We're working hard to collaborate more together, and they did a great job. They came in, they gave a wonderful presentation to the students about making wise choices over prom weekend. Prom was just fun this year. Only Alex and Nate were there, right? But it was a wonderful group of students. A lot of students just went with their friends, and everybody danced all night in a big group. And I just saw random acts of kindness all night, from the girl that was dancing on the outskirts, and one of the popular group of boys let the girl in, and she got to dance in the middle for a little bit, to the Mr. Roselle Park boys that did their dance about 10 o'clock at night. It was just a really fun night, that prom, and everybody was safe and came back, so that was good. We had some district champs and conference champs just in athletics. We had a freshman girl, Yasmin Torres, who was the champion of the conference in the javelin. The golf team was conference champs. The baseball team was conference champs. And Jake, where's Jake? Is it your grandson went to the Meet of Champions? First time since I've been here that we've had a student go to the Meet of Champions, so that was fantastic. We have a strong peer crisis counseling program. I see some people here tonight that have applied for it for next year, but I don't handle all of the drama with the high school students. They handle some of it themselves, and they do a wonderful job. We had the highest percentage of students taking the SAT and the PSAT since I've been here, and I want to congratulate the ones I see sitting here that already took the SAT prep course that we offered for the first time this year. And we offered many new clubs: the debate club, the video game design club, the book club, as well as repeating clubs over and over. Mr. Banks took a group of girls to the 5th grade at Robert Gordon, and they worked on what they called STEM girls, and they taught some new science concepts to the 5th grade girls. And we're looking every year, we work and we listen to our students. We took a survey of all of our students when they took the PSATs, and we asked them, what kinds of courses would you like to see? And we're adding some new weight training courses next year, percussion ensemble, musical theater, and a new coding class that we'll be offering next year. So tonight I picked one of these niches, these little groups of students that make such a huge difference, and I want to honor them tonight at the high school. These students this evening have dedicated many, many, many hours to cancer research, specifically brain cancer research at Kean University. They participated in a hands-on research experience aimed at developing their talents to prepare for their education, their continuing education in science or engineering. They learned how to conduct basic and applied research in a variety of areas. The program enabled students to develop a true appreciation for the scientific research process while contributing firsthand to the acquisition of scientific knowledge. They engaged in weekly. How many times a week did you go? Twice a week they went to Kean. They engaged in team meetings with the faculty there, with Mr. Bangs. They solved problems and they discussed novel ideas and the latest scientific research. This is one of the opportunities that we have joined with Kean, thanks in great part to Mr. Bangs, to allow our students more opportunities for success. This group of students led the way to a new program that Kane will be offering this summer to 5 of our students. I believe it's 5. It's called the New Group Scholars Human Research Program, and they'll be studying at Kane at the new STEM building using all of the newest equipment. So tonight I want to talk about the students that are leaders in our school in the area of STEM. Over the last 4 years, I've really taken it as a challenge to myself to raise the bar in the area of STEM at Roselle Park High School and to be a leader in the county. And thanks in part to this group, as well as to many of the other students enrolled in the SciTech Prep and our other high-level math, science, and technology classes, we are leading the way in Union County. Kane works with Roselle Park. NJIT works only with Roselle Park. These are things to be very, very proud of. In 10th grade, our SciTech students take 2 science classes. They take biology honors and chemistry honors. They start at 7:15 in the morning with what we call a STEM explorations class. Our juniors take, and then they take all of the other academic courses as well. Our juniors, many of them, some of them take it in senior year, take a bio-maturing class, where it's an inquiry-based lab class, where they are introduced to skills in the newest fields of science and technology. Chemical engineering, nanotechnology, programmable logic controllers. I was in there the other day and I couldn't grasp it, but they had a little tiny thing this big that was a whole computer. They called it a Raspberry, but it wasn't red. So finally, this group of students here, the majority of them are 10th and 11th graders, but some of our seniors here, of our honors senior students, they were paved the way this year with dual enrollment with Kane and NJIT, and we will continue to expand upon that program next year with dual enrollment opportunities for our students to take NJIT credit classes in chemistry here in Mr. Bang's room, and to dual enroll in, this year we had 2 students dual enroll in computer science at Kane. So there's many wonderful, wonderful things happening here, but I want to thank this group of young men and women and Mr. Bangs for the time that they put in, because if you don't put in the time, you don't form the relationships with the higher learning institutions, with Kane, with NJIT, and they put in the time, they really solidified that bond, and I know that we will only continue to offer more dual enrollment opportunities for our students. So thank you to all of you, and I would like to turn the meeting to Mr. Nelson to give you a certificate of appreciation and honor. So great work.
Thank you, Ms. Costa, and thank you for all the good work you do, and to Mr. Bangs for leading such a really great effort. We are truly proud. Thank you very much. We're very proud of all the students here at
Roselle Park High School. Forgot about this for a second. Roselle Park High School, and basically, I want to call some of their names. So if you could, please. Isabella Pavon. Also, Alexander Chacon. Daniela Galahi. Antoinette Antonucci. Not here tonight, okay? Make sure she gets it.
Okay, let's see.
Liarta Baichi, let's see, make this right again. Baichi Noti. Joshua Connolly. Nicholas Marino. Sean Shotwell. Nathaniel Bayat. And last but not least, of course, is our own beloved teacher, Raymond Bangs, who is beloved by both students and faculty alike. So, Mr. Bangs, thank you so much for all you do.
I have just two and a half more minutes. I wanted you to see the names and put a face to the name. And now we're going to show you a brief video. It's about 2.5 minutes long that lets you see what they did when they were at Kane. That's my cutest stuff.
You know, while Mrs. Costa's getting that ready, I just want to say, I see a lot of the faces, I see a lot of familiar faces too from some of you guys, because the Sherman School had a family science night last Friday, where over about 70 students and about 70 parents, so close to 150 people were there. And the neat thing was that Mr. Bangs and Mr. Cyber, they rallied the troops come over and help out the kids at the Sherman School, so you guys did a really, really good job. And even Mihal had his drone flying around for family science, which was excellent. So I just want to thank you guys again for helping out. They're wonderful. So thank you.
Kane's STEM program has been a wonderful venue for us at Roselle Park High School. We brought over a select group of students who would be committed to performing some actual research in the field of proteomics.
It's basically a chance for people like myself in a public high school to be able to go to a college like Kane University and do research.
One of the things that students will experience through this program is that being able to conduct the experiments, to experience the technologies.
They're working with our scientists that could lead to new discoveries and publications.
We have here very state-of-the-art equipment. We're developing new avenues for cancer therapeutic. We have researchers here who are very connected to industry and know how drug development occurs, and the students here get to do those things.
You're able to put the knowledge that you learned from this program into further future activities. When you come here, you see that it's such a comfortable atmosphere and that everyone in each class is so close together.
The STEM program is very immersive. It's family. There's that one-on-one feel with the professors. I can go up to them anytime without fear of having 20 other students fighting for their attention. I feel that there is that individuality and focus.
The professors are awesome because they're just always there for the help.
This program is worth every minute you spend here because you just have so much exposure to science and research.
The earlier we can get engaged with the students and cross the barrier to let them know what it's like to do research, the more rewarding it will be.
And thanks to them, this program is now going to be offered for 6 weeks to any student that applies and is accepted. So congratulations. Students, you are welcome.
Well, you know what, that's a great point, Ms. Casa. To keep this celebration going, we're just going to take a brief recess so students who can take a nice walk and enjoy the evening tonight and do your homework if you have anything left. Study for finals. Hang out with Dad or Mom. Thank you. So we'll take a brief recess. We'll get started and we'll continue with personnel, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 1 through 8, 1 being district substitutes, 2 being staff resignations, 3 being staff appointment, 4 being fall 2015 sports physical personnel, 5 being ESL summer program staff, 6 being professional development preparation, 7 being summer camp staffing list, and 8 being special services summer child study team personnel.
I move the motion.
Oh, you know, is there one more for that? I'm sorry, correction, there should be a 9th, I'm sorry, Mr. Harms, and that is a 2015 extended school year staff. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Harms, second?
I'll second.
Mr. Dam?
Mr. President, I just have a question on number 4.
Sure.
How many days, or how many nurses per day? I mean, it's kind of confusing on here. It looks like you have 4 days, but there's 2 that have 4 days, 1 that has 3 days, and 1 that has 2 days. How are we getting all this done, or is there certain days that are more expected students for the physicals than the others? It just doesn't match out in the days there. I just was looking for the principal kind of gave it up there. It is what it is. It's extra. There's certain days that more children, or, students will be coming than others, so that's why they have it's broken up differently on that. So I just.
And if we don't get the sign-ups, we won't use that many people.
Okay, yeah, no, it was just confusing. There were 4 days, but you only have 1 day. You only gonna have 1 person there, and it doesn't seem to be. Okay.
But some days you might have more.
Right, and the physicians tell you what days they can work. So if only 1 doctor is coming on 1 day, then you're not going to schedule as many students. Because it's all based around the physician's schedule.
Okay.
So you're covering your bases. That's good.
Right.
Good.
Excellent. Yes, Mr. Nelson?
I just wanted to comment on the resignation of the teacher Kristen Levash at Robert Gordon. I just wanted to say that at Robert Gordon, the school was truly blessed by having a teacher of this caliber there. This teacher decided that she wanted to be a full-time mom at home and stay a few more years with her children. But she was one of the most outstanding teachers that I have had the privilege of knowing, certainly, and she was at our own Roselle Park School. There was not one parent I've ever known who ever said anything negative about this teacher. She loved her students dearly, she loved this district dearly, and we are truly grateful that she has given her service to us for as many years as she has. So again, it's with sadness that we accept the resignation of Ms. Levash, but with great memories that she has given our children, and we are indeed thankful for that.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please, Madam Secretary.
Vice President Harms?
Yes.
Mr. Balaban?
Yes.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Bruckenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Gerton? Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Vita?
Yes.
President Miller?
Yes.
On roll call, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. And now we're on to education, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 10 and 11, 10 being education programs, 11 being education programs for 2015-2016. 10 is for the 2014-2015 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Harms, second.
I'll second.
Mr. Dan, any questions or comments?
Mr. Miller, I'd like to give myself number 11.
So noted, Mr. Nelson. Thank you. The others? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Those items are passed. And now we're on to business, where I'd like someone to make a motion to approve agenda items 12 through 21. 12 being use of building and grounds, 13 being approval of bills, 14 being transfers, 15 being approval of minutes, 16 being the National School Lunch Program reimbursement, 17 being the 2015-2016 Food and Nutrition Program contract, 18 being 2014-2015 awards, 19 being the tuition rates, 20 being grant applications, 21 being district contracts.
So moved.
Mr. Harms, first, second?
I'll second.
Mr. Dam, second. Any questions or comments?
President Miller, once again, I'd like to keep myself number 13.
Number 13. So noted.
On the bills. Okay, on the bills, Mr. President.
Yes.
There's a charge from the borough as to the sewer utility. It looks like sewer usage early childhood center 2014. Why would we be charged for that?
I'm sorry, you're referring to number 14?
bill list.
Oh, sorry, the bills, okay.
Bill list.
Madam Secretary?
It's the sixth item down
Yes.
for $255.
And that is because we rent that facility, and the rental contract we have with the owners of that particular building, part of the language of the contract is for us to cover that particular cost. It's in the contract.
That's unusual, though.
No, yeah, but I would rather pay for, in that particular bill, I would rather pay that and be charged per month on something that's unknown to him based on the usage of the water. That's what it's based on.
No, I know it's
every month, well, but every month you would be charged. So this is $255. He could charge $200 a month for the 10 months we use it.
Is he paying the water bill, though? He's got to be paying the water bill.
Again, Mr. Balaban, we rent 2 facilities, and in both cases, the contracts that we have with the owners of those 2 facilities have us incurring the cost of utilities.
So we pay the
So it's not uncommon. We utilize 2 buildings.
I understand that we rent. Okay, well, that's fine.
And
So
in
do
both
we
contracts,
pay,
that
no,
is
but
the
then
language.
Do we pay the monthly water bills also?
Yes.
Oh, so we pay, oh,
Yes.
all right.
And the same with the other, the Signorella Center that we also
So we pay the water
utilize.
bill for that?
Yes, yes, both places.
Okay. I was,
Any other questions or comments? I just want to thank, number 18, I just want to thank all those people and businesses who provided those awards for our graduates. Every little bit helps, so thank you very much for that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those items are passed. And now we're on to liaison reports. Does anyone have a liaison report they'd like to speak on? Seeing that there's none, we'll go on to continuing business. Mr. Burrito.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. As of today, there have been 3 students throughout the 2014-15 school year who has been identified as not residing in Roselle Park and therefore removed from the district.
Thank you, Mr. Burrito. And now we're on to new business. Does anyone have any new business to report?
well, I wanted to ask about the school lunch program. Remember we had an issue with non-payment for the meals, and then we said a caveat, you know, that we were going to withhold some items, you know, no money, no meat, so, you know, in essence. But are we getting better compliance now? Because I haven't heard anything since then.
Yes, each of the buildings receive weekly reports. The food company sends emails, letters, phone calls to the parents with outstanding balances, and since this has been, the new policy that you're talking about has been initiated, there has been an improvement in payment. So yes, it seems to be working.
Anyone else? And now we're on to our second public participation portion of the evening tonight. If you'd like to speak on any issue, please come forward, state your name and address, and what you'd like to talk about.
Joe DiOrio, 824 Larch Street, Roselle Park. First off, I'd like to congratulate all the students. I haven't been around at one of the board meetings in some time, and it's great to hear all these good students and good news and everyone working together to accomplish a lot. And to still have Mr. Bangs here? Did he leave? Oh my God! He was here when I was here, and my brother and sister. So that's wonderful that he's stayed all these years to help out and to achieve such greatness for our students. I want to thank the board for their participation in Operation Graduation today. I received an email with the help of Sue and Pedro, the assistants of providing bus service for our Operation Graduation. As you know, due to unfortunate circumstances, Project Graduation was not able to be held this year. And in lieu of that, a group of concerned people got together, and Jody Bellamo, who's behind me. Jody, you can wave. Here you go. Jody from Joe and Jody's, you probably know. Her and several other parents got together, and we're pulling off what's called Operation Graduation, a smaller scale version of Project Graduation that focuses around the same concept, having a safe and fun place for our students on graduation night. I have some information I'd like to present to the board for their information. Information regarding what the Operation Graduation is all about, and also the itinerary for that evening. Essentially, what will happen that evening after graduation, we'll ask the participating students to go to the community center for a sign-in and also to have a wonderful meal. I can't say enough how happy I am about all of the businesses that have been so helpful with donating food. We have so much food, literally we don't need any more. So they'll come in, they'll have some hot food. At around 11 o'clock, we'll have bus service, transport the students from the Casano Center to Monster Golf, where they'll have the full use of Monster Golf's golf course as well as arcade games. And sponsoring the food for Monster Golf will be Noodles and Company. They will fully cater that portion of the activity. Around 2:45, the students will be transported back to the community center, where we'll have an array of activities. DJing, paint and pour, a photo booth. We will also have henna tattoo artists to do fake tattoos. And if we're successful, we're looking for either a comedian or a hypnotist. If you know of any, please feel free to send that information over to me, because we're scrambling to find one. And then at the end of that, or actually early morning, as you may want to call it, we'll have a movie, but also a candy buffet, dessert, and then a hot buffet, hot breakfast buffet from Sunrise Diner. So these kids are going to not only be well fed, but they'll also be with many activities. We're looking forward to a great evening. Now, the information you have there, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. My husband and I, Don Shipley, who's here tonight, we partnered with Roselle 24/7, a nonprofit that helps out the residents of Roselle to also help out the residents of Roselle Park with a project called Roselle Park 24/7, where we try to build community relations between the diverse aspects of different sectors of our community. This is just our first effort to try to help out the community when in need. And if you need to see additional information, not only about Roselle Park 24/7, Operation Graduation will also be hosted on that website. So if you go to rosellepark247.org, you'll see information about Operation Graduation, as well as the other activities that we're considering for the upcoming year. So with that said, I don't know if you have any questions or looking for chaperones. I know Lauren said he's going to be available.
Sorry.
Or if you know of anyone that would like to donate. Right now we're meeting all of our expenses. The students will be asked to donate $15, and if the student cannot raise that $15, we do have financial assistance available. With that $15, they will also get an Operation Graduation t-shirt. So it's really not only a low-cost event, but a wonderful event for the students that do want to have something right after graduation. So I look forward to seeing all of you at the event, if you're available. Or if not, if you could pass around the good information and ask for donations, or if you know a hypnotist or a comedian, we'd love to have that. So, then you could ask Assemblyman Brown like he is a comedian. Actually, that's a good idea. I may just ask him. Thank you, Alex.
But, you know, it's really, as a community member, it's really fulfilling to see, a small group of people essentially changing the world for this student body. That was a great effort. And in such a short amount of time.
And just
so I commend you guys for that.
Thank you, Alex.
Jody, tremendous heavy lifting.
I want to recognize Michelle Arnold and Sharon Curia, who
Yeah.
are also helping in this effort. I also want to say, too, that we did reach out to the Roselle Park PTSA, to Tracy, and she is helping also, so we partnered together with her. We don't care if we have 20 kids or 120 kids. Whatever we have will be good enough for us and good enough for those students. So, thank you very much. And if you have any questions,
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Seeing there's no one else for the public participation portion of the evening, second one, we will close that. And before we go into closed session, I just wanted to make you aware of something that we do every year as a board, and that is do a board self-evaluation. And we do that through the New Jersey School Boards Association. And briefly after when we go into close, that's one of the things that we're going to be doing is evaluating ourselves, seeing how we did this year, seeing how the relationships went with the administration and in our school districts and amongst ourselves as well, to see how we can improve ourselves. And the facilitator that we have here, and I'd like her to come up and give a brief introduction of what she'll be doing tonight, is Mrs. Gwen Thornton from New Jersey School Boards Association. And she was made available, as I was telling Mr. Majera today, about, well, she was available tonight, and it's a really big help because, you know, for many years now, we've been using New Jersey School Boards Associations for many services that our dues provide, because it is a dues-based service and that we pay them annually. And this is just another, besides the professional development workshops that we've done in the past, this is an annual right that we do to show, to improve ourselves, but also to show the public that, you know, we're up here to try to do the best job that we can for our children at Roselle Park. And this is one of the ways that we do it. So Ms. Thornton, if you come in, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Can you all hear me without the mic? I don't want to have my back.
The recording is, you can take it over.
I hate having my back to your community. That's just so unfriendly. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. The board self-assessment really is the completion of the total evaluation process. I'm sure most of your staff, your principals, all of your professional certificated staff, and your other staff are evaluated annually. The board is required by statute to complete an annual evaluation of the superintendent, and then we say as part of that best practice, once that is complete, you should look at how you have functioned and how you have worked and operated. So that self-assessment is really the completion of a process that's the beginning of another cycle, because then you will all once again begin looking at your district goals for the district for the following year, as well as your board goals in terms of moving the district forward. It was truly a pleasure to be here this evening. I'm sorry that the parents and the kids are gone. You should feel such pride in listening in and seeing that. That is extraordinary. And it's just a wonderful testament to the kind of education that you provide here, that those kinds of things are happening on a regular basis. And project graduation, which I know you can't call that, operation graduation, as well, giving the kids a safe place to be at the end of graduation. So that's really the intent of the self-assessment, is really to look at yourselves and say, what have we done really well? Are there any areas where we can provide additional support so we can continue to move the district forward for all of the kids in Roselle? And Senator Bramick would be a wonderful comedian for that evening, actually. So that's really what we're going to do tonight. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, and it's particularly a pleasure in May, June to see the kids, because they're really what it's all about. So thank you.
Thank you. Sure, absolutely. You may come up. Thank you, Mrs. Thornton.
My apologies, my sincere apologies, but I want to recognize the fact that the Roselle Park Mayor and Council is supporting the efforts of Operation Graduation. Without them, we wouldn't have the insurance coverage to pull this thing off. So I want to publicly thank Mayor Hokinson and the council, thank you, Councilwoman, for their support to help us pull this off.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the council as well. And now I'd like to have a motion to go into close.
Second.
Mr. Harms and Mr. Balaban. And we're going in for the board self-evaluation and also for reasons of personnel. No action will be taken. We are in closed.